What I've observed, especially within the startup community, is that this is a real great framework. It's simple and easy to follow. And it allows you to create the consistency and the cadence to be able to move forward. So definitely worth a look.
Kia ora team, Richard Liu here, editor at NZ Entrepreneur, and today in the third of a three-part series for this series of the knowledge base, we're talking to Adam Harris. He's an EOS implementer, and we're going to take a little bit more of a dive into some of the key components that make up the EOS framework. So from New Plymouth, Adam, thanks for joining us.
Oh, pleasure to be with you, Richard.
Awesome. Now, the thing that really struck me when talking with Deborah, David, and obviously yourself about EOS is you guys have all been business owners yourself. You've all started business and then helped grow your own businesses and other people's businesses. So, to me, that really stands testament to, the veracity, I guess, of the EOS framework and why you've chosen to now help implement that across other businesses here in New Zealand and around the world. So can you just tell us a little bit about your background in business to give us some context?
Yeah, sure. So my first entrepreneurial journey was when I was kind of 8 years old, and I had a little car washing empire on the estate where I lived in Nottingham in the UK. So I had 12 other kids doing all the car washing, and I was knocking on doors and kind of doing the selling. Kind of as the years went on, I qualified as a teacher and then lecturer. So I've taught in a number of universities across the world. But I also, through my journey, qualified as a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. I've had some wonderful enterprises along the way. So I've been a professional lookalike. I had a business that supplied inflatable extras to the TV and film industry. So we had 10,000 blow-up dolls, torso upwards with no holes. And I just got a massive passion for kind of business. About 15 years ago, after I bought and sold three businesses, mainly within the IT space. But about 15 years ago, I came across this concept around masterminding. So I ran three chief exec masterminds in the UK, and that's when I came across EOS. So one of my members said, "I've just read this book called Traction. I need somebody to help implement it into our business." And I just fell in love with the simplicity of EOS. And the other thing really was the ability to be able to cascade through an organization. And one of the things we say within EOS is be careful what you wish for. Myself and my wife went through our family business with EOS, and we set ourselves a target, 10-year target of living nomadically. And within 4 years, there was an opportunity for us to move over to New Zealand, and that's why we're here.
Also, my own experience, having learned a little bit about the EOS, read the Traction book, as you said, with Jenna Wickman. What stood out to me as a founder, with a couple of decades experience now, is all the systems I've looked at in the past. Hoping there was a silver bullet to help us dial down the chaos and sort of get quickly to business as usual. They've been way too complicated. Well, they've just appeared, as a founder, we get to choose whatever 18 hours a day we want to work. That's great. But they're 18 hours a day initially because, there's so much to get done and having to add on top another cumbersome sort of system or framework and all the reporting that often goes with it. Just none of it ever stuck. So, quite keen to get now into a bit more of the nitty gritty. And EOS, there's six key components to the framework. Is that right? Can you talk us through?
And you're right. The simplicity of it is really, really key. So we talk about these six key components, and actually what we're looking at doing is we're looking to help an organization get to the stage of being 80% strong in these areas. So the first aspect is around vision. So we have this, I suppose, 2-page business plan, which we call the VTO, the Vision Traction Organiser. And within it, there's 8 questions. So the 8 questions are around ensuring that we've got the core values discussed and aligned. The second thing is around having a core focus. So what's our purpose, cause, or passion, and what's the niche area that we're kind of working in? So really getting clarity and understanding about who we are. The third aspect is around 10-year target. So you may well have heard, or listeners may well have heard this aspect of kind of big, hairy, audacious goal, or the moonshine. What is it? Let's put a marker in the sand, and as kind of Stephen Covey says, start with the end in mind. So we're putting a marker in, and it should feel really kind of quite scary and uncomfortable. We don't know how we're going to get there. That's kind of that's about the joy of kind of the journey and kind of how we're going to get there. Fourth thing is the marketing strategy. So who's our target market or the list? So who's our demographic, psychographic, geographic? And then moving into this aspect around the three uniques. So it used to be the case of kind of the unique selling point. Within EOS, we talk about the three uniques. So what is it that you as an organization do that nobody else does those three things together? So it may well be the case that somebody else is running, is their target market is entrepreneurs. They might also be on have an online platform, but your third unique may well be actually we've built a community and we're engaged and we're offering value. So those three things together becomes really kind of special and unique. Then there's this aspect around proven process. So this is often about taking what's the customer journey? What's the proven methodology that's starting at one point and taking the customers through that 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 it's a proven process. And then what's the guarantee that kind of sits underneath that? So probably 50% of organizations will have this guarantee. EOS is that we do have a proven process, and our guarantee is that we don't have contracts with customers. We only invoice after the work has been done, and if you don't believe that you've had value, then you don't pay us. So that's about kind of taking away some of the risks, or holding patterns that people might go through. We then start breaking it down. So we then start breaking it down into a 3-year picture. So we're starting now to put in future date, what's the revenue, what's the profit, what's the measurables, and actually what's the picture? What does it look like? So we're not necessarily sure how we're going to get there, but we start painting the picture. So that's the vision part. And then the second page is the traction. So this is where kind of the rubber hits the road. So what's the 1-year plan? Future date, revenue, profit, measurables, and what's the goals for the year? So what's the 3 to 7 things that we're looking at doing over the next 12 months? And then we break it down into what we call rocks. So EOS works within this aspect around 90 days. So 90 days from today, what's the future date? What's the revenue? What's the profit? What's the rocks or the goals for the next 90 days? So over and above business and usual, what's the, again, 3 to 7 things that we need to do, which is going to allow us to make the boat go faster? And then the final aspect on the VTO is this aspect around the issues list. So we're looking at capturing what's the big long-term issues that we need to understand from the organization. And you can see on the diagram here is that the second thing on vision is around shared by all. So what we're looking at doing is making sure that everybody within the organization has clarity in understanding who we are, and where we're going, but also where their role is within kind of sitting within there.
And so just to clarify, so
yeah,
this whole system is sort of underpinned for the business owner or the management team, if you like, on 2 pages, right?
absolutely.
Right from the who we are, where we're going, what we're trying to do, through to the marketing, the high level marketing strategy, and then right down to the executionable 90 days from key rocks, as you call them, things you're going to do these 90 days, issues to resolve. And I think that to me is really appealing because, it's 2 pages and I can have that wherever I'm going. And if I ever forget anything or I need to tell someone something, I just refer back to that, right? So amidst all the chaos, you've got like this anchor, if you like.
Oh, absolutely. And there's 2 things I'd add on that is that one, I always recommend that everybody gets their VTO, their 2-page plan laminated, and they carry it around with them. Literally before you start work in the morning, you sat at your desk, just have a look through to make sure, is what I'm doing today the right thing and is going to help us go towards the where we're going to go. The other thing I've observed, Richard, over the years of kind of working with business owners and entrepreneurs is that often they're the ones that set the plan and the strategy. And actually, a large part of EOS, the process, is actually about bringing the leadership team on the journey. So it becomes our plan, our vision, as opposed to just the kind of, the founder. And when people become, feel as if they're part of the journey, they've got skin in the game, whether that be financially or not. It really, really does begin to kind of move the organization in a different way. Can be hard for the entrepreneur, but that's part of the challenge in setting yourself up for success. If people want to know more about that, we can put a link in the text below so that people can understand. What begins to happen is that when we're having this consistency of meetings, where the cadence becomes a lot faster and a lot quicker. So that's how we begin to get traction, because we're not waiting till the end of the quarter or the end of the year. The amount of times working with chief execs and leadership teams is like they spend 2 days planning the year ahead, and it gets to kind of month 10. It's like, oh, actually, have we done what we said we were going to do? Because there's not those regular check-ins.
Yeah, for anyone who's a fan of Michael Gerber's The E-Myth, or as you say, Stephen Covey and his 7 principles of highly effective people. To me, that this sort of takes a lot of what those principles are and actually now builds out an operational system. So yeah, really cool. And especially, if we're building startups, I totally agree. We need a much faster cadence and a rhythm, so that we can get through all the unknowns quickly and establish that scalable, repeatable model. So thanks so much for taking us through that, Adam. And have you got any final message for the entrepreneurs out there, or any would-be entrepreneurs watching this?
Yeah, so EOS Worldwide give away a large amount of the resources. So everything I've spoken about, that you can download all the tools. There's lots of videos available. What I've observed, especially within the startup community, is that this is a real great framework. It's simple and easy to follow. So and it allows you to create the consistency and the cadence to be able to move forward. So definitely worth a look. And then the second thing is that actually, when you are at the stage where you're looking to get funding, showing angel investors or VCs, it's or even potential kind of other shareholders, showing them and helping them understand that you've got a system and a process and a framework that you follow, and you're able to articulate it really fast and really quick. VC firms absolutely love it, because they can see the growth and, on track or off track with regards to, the setting of expectations. So their ability to be able to have confidence in the individuals and in the business is far higher.
That's a great point. As we know, ideas are easy, they're everywhere, but it's the execution that is where the rubber hits the road. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much, Adam.
Pleasure.